The greatest threat of AI is loneliness. 1 in 7 men in America don't have a single friend. 1 in 4 men can't name a best friend. Men are now committing suicide at 4 times the rate of women. 4 times the rate of women. Loneliness is the epidemic, just behind obesity. The number of searches for girlfriend.ai has skyrocketed. There are 1,500 companies actively advertising on Meta and AI girlfriend right now. I think this is a disaster for young men. The biggest companies in the world with the deepest resources and the most brilliant people want to convince young men and young women, but especially young men, that they can have a reasonable facsimile of life behind a screen and with an algorithm. And let me tell you, as someone who has lived a rich life, a lot of ups and a lot of downs, my message to young people would be twofold. One, nothing wonderful, I mean really wonderful, will ever happen to you on a screen. It's just not going to happen. These companies are trying to convince you don't need to go to work. Just trade crypto or stocks on Robinhood or Coinbase. You don't need friends. Just go on Reddit or Discord. You don't need to put up with the humiliation and the effort and getting in shape, having a plan, showering to actually attract a mate. You can just go on to YouPorn. Well, guess what? The reason romantic comedies are 2 hours and not 15 minutes is this shit is hard. And also, it takes time, it takes effort, and more importantly, it is worth it. Real victory is about doing things that are exceptionally hard, taking risks, and winning. And if you don't get out of the house, you are never going to understand what real victory and what it means to be human, what it means to be a mammal, and what it is to enjoy real victory and real satisfaction in your life. And we are convincing an entire generation of young men to stay at home, not take risks, sequester from the rest of society, and eventually, slowly but surely become depressed, anxious, and shitty citizens.
Hello. Interesting clip, right? Okay. I have so many emotions concerning such a clip like that, and I'm not able to express all of my emotions, like, because I'm not very good at expressing my emotions, of course, and so on. But what I wanted to ask is, did COVID sort of cause an epidemic of loneliness? Because I feel like in my particular case, COVID happened, and I feel like, in a sense, I was tricked into thinking that because when COVID happened, everyone was alone at home and everyone was surviving, and suddenly we were alone, we didn't have contact with other people, and we were surviving and we were thriving and we were doing well, and we were online a lot. And so we were all online, and I think we all got lulled into this sense of security, like with this belief that we can be okay alone. And also, of course, interacting with people online probably didn't all go very well. And I don't know, many different things happened in many different ways. But I just have the feeling that since COVID, I can imagine that loneliness has been on the rise, because in our case, we moved during COVID time. We took the chance to move, and we moved permanently to the countryside. And I have to say that I completely misjudged or misestimated how lonely living on the countryside is, and how isolating it is, and how much I need contact with other people, just random people, or not just my family members, but other people. And that is also part of why I am making these videos. It's kind of like a mental health thing for me trying to sort out things that are going on in my head. And I want contact with people. I want to make videos with people. I want to interview people. I want to talk to people. And that also has to do with just me trying to help my own mental health. And I find it interesting because I know that this is an issue that affects men, as he said in this clip. And I've seen so many sort of memes, and so many times I see feminists, and it's not even feminists, it's just women in our culture and stuff like that in general. I've seen it in groups that I'm in, like hair groups or something, where men are made fun of for starting a podcast. they would be like, oh, he broke up with somebody, and then there's this sort of skit where he just starts a podcast. And I think, it's really funny that we make fun of people for trying to reach out to other people. And I also think that it's so sad that we live in a world where we so underestimated the importance of community and each other and everything like that, that we end up with a dominant culture that promotes above all else to protect self, to protect just yourself. This morning I saw this clip.
Men only change when they are afraid that you will be happy without them. That's why all your exes come crawling back the exact second you've moved on. The best thing you could do to keep him on his toes is to be happy without him, even while you're still in the relationship. If you are not happy, regardless of him, then you will tolerate whatever he puts you through because you will be afraid to lose him. Subconsciously, he will not be afraid of losing you because he knows that your happiness is tied to him. Men only change when they are afraid that you will be.
Now, I'm not saying that that clip is like representative of what everybody thinks. That was actually on a feminist page. But what I want to say is that I hope that whatever culture or subculture you belong to, that you don't fall for things like that, because the reality is that at the end of the day, we all need each other. Men need women, women need men, but more than that, we just need each other. It doesn't even matter what gender the person is. We just need each other. We need community. We need contact with each other, real contact with each other, not YouTube, not this, not uh, a screen that I'm talking to you and I don't know who you are and you're not going to communicate with me in any way. Like, we need contact with each other. And okay, I will admit that not every circumstance or not everyone's circumstance allows for that type of contact. Okay. Um so in my situation, I don't there is no allowance for that type of contact. I have to deal with what I have to deal with. So, and yours may be the same. Um but I don't know the answer to it. I don't know how we are going to figure it out, but I know that in the meantime, the solution is not to accept a culture that tells us that we just need to be independent and okay. It doesn't work like that. We're human. We have a psychology. We have like hundreds of thousands of years of biology that makes it such that we need each other, and we it was never meant for us to be alone and to survive alone and to not have friends and family and kinships and all of that. So don't believe if the culture tells you that you're weak because you're not okay alone, if the culture tells you that something is wrong with you because you're not independent enough, if the culture tells you that you should be happy alone, that you don't need a man, that you don't need a woman, that you don't need a spouse or love, or you don't need relationships and you just need to be alone, it's a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie from all angles. If you hear the message from culture that women don't need men, it's a lie. If you're hearing the message from culture that men don't need women, it's a lie. It's a lie. So, yeah, I just thought I would repost that guy's video because it kind of touched me, and I thought I would make a video that maybe resonates with some people, because that message resonates with me, that we need each other, you know?